Ta-da! I made a Substack and I'm really excited to share what I've been working on for the last few months. What really excites me is it's an opportunity for me to write long, and this video, for example, is an opportunity for me to talk long. TikTok is short form, IG stories is short form. I love just yapping, and I also just love to write and sort of process and think about things more deeply. And this is a place for me to do so. I'm really excited that I have some friends. I have about, I think like just under 30 subscribers that are all my friends. And I understand that this may not be for everyone. I think my ask would be, engage by sharing, amplifying. This might be for other people. They say that for a lot of folks that your friends are not your core audience, and that's totally okay. I know that the things that I write about can be entertaining. They're in small doses, but some of this stuff is longer form. And so let me give you an overview. I publish once a week, every Wednesday. There are going to be multiple categories that I'll show you, but I just publish just the once, typically once per week. What I'll do is I'll walk through a few of the pieces that I'm really, really, really proud of that I have here pinned on my homepage. I'm proud of all the things that I write, but obviously there's a hierarchy of some things that you're just like, this is my baby. One is research deep dives. I'll just tell you the Tyra Banks documentary that I cover in three parts. I'm really, really proud of that. I did a lot of extensive research and a lot of work to understand who were the executives who were making money from the humiliation economy, which is how I would really characterize that era of reality TV that includes things like Making the Band, American Idol. Um, and I also just look at how that documentary itself was put together. And I think, one core thesis is that it's very easy to talk about Tyra Banks or other people as a villain when it distracts us from actually looking at the overall system. And I think that we have to always be cautious about why now, why this person, and not to say that that person is absolved. It's just sort of, it's very convenient for us to, it's very convenient for us to have one person to look at versus actually indicting the system overall. The second one that I have highlighted here is my Black History Month series, which falls under my Obsidian Future sort of sub-brand. And there, Black History Month is super important to me. Anybody who's known me for a really long time knows that I've always used that month as an opportunity to reflect on my experiences being Black growing up, or questions, or really just trying to spark conversation that I think is really interesting. There, I really went and excavated some thoughts about family life and research and things like that. I'm really, really proud of what I did with that four-part series. That was like a bonus where I published two times per week in the month of February. The next one was how friends versus what friends. So for folks who know me, I'm really keen on chosen family and thinking about what does it mean to build a village. And I'm just exploring and thinking through a lot of things about what does it actually look like to be intentional about trying to build your life. And here I talk a little bit about there are friends that ask me what is going on in my life, and it's sort of those are the folks who are around most often, and they're how friends, and those are the folks who are asking, how are you doing? And sort of seeing that difference, and also talking to my therapist about maybe why I'm attracted to one type or not was really interesting for me, and I think a pretty good read. And so this piece that I wrote about flossing, I think it's super wonderful. It just looks at how shame and class really show up in places like the doctor's office, where people will, shame you for not knowing how to do something, but won't actually teach you the effective ways and reinforce it. There's this really interesting dynamic where you're expected to do the right behavior, but you're not actually taught it. There's another more, I think, impactful way, which is to have people model the behavior in the office, and then the expert can correct you. But seemingly that's not the way that medicine is working these days. And then the way I try to think about all of this is I write for people to feel seen and to connect. I don't write as if this were a journal. So if I put it in public, my assumption is that I'm doing it because I think that somebody else might benefit from either seeing how these thoughts can be structured or just feeling seen in a world where maybe people don't always feel seen. I want to just point you to here's how the sections work. So, for example, as I mentioned, these are research deep dives. These are my medium-sized essays. I also talk about grief. So, for folks who know me well, I've been processing a lot of losses in the last few years, and writing is really cathartic for me and helps me think through sort of what the gaps are, just sort of what are the things I need to keep working on. It's a really good process for me, and I would say that I'm mindful of what I do share in public, and I try to take a measured approach. But yeah, I would say that most of these are meant for people to engage and react. They're not really just oh, like I watch from the sidelines. But again, I know that this won't be for everybody. It's just more of a I think of a friend who used to share or like my LinkedIn posts, and one day I got a message from somebody saying, "Oh, this friend, I know you don't know me, but I oftentimes see your things from our mutual friend who likes or comments on your posts, and I just want to follow you directly." That's totally okay. I mean, I am putting this to the algorithm because I feel like YouTube and Substack are places where I'm going to find people who are most like me through the algorithm that are maybe like building on the friendships that I already have that are in my current network. So that's totally okay if you're not in that initial core of the people who are my readers. I just ask, share it if you can.